Good evening, and thank you for putting up with a small delay to the start because of the weather. My name is Chris Ryan. I'm the Director of the Victorian Eco-Innovation Lab here at the University of Melbourne, the sponsor, the owner, the originator of these events and the sustainablemelbourne.com site and the Sustainable Cities Net site on the web, for which this is the physical presence. This is the first Sustainable Cities Roundtable for this year, and I welcome those of you who have been in previous years and those who are experiencing these events for the first time. I want to just talk a little about the context of this event and the process, and then I'll hand you over to our Mistress of Ceremonies, Fern Edwards. I should say tonight we're very pleased that we are putting on this event jointly with Gamut, also a centre at the University of Melbourne, and you will be able to hear later in the procedure in more detail about Gamut, and indeed one of our speakers in our special event is also from that organisation. Right now, it seems that everything is about change, and respecting the fact that we are meeting for the first time, again, since we signed Kyoto, and since the issue which has been the one that has concerned us in our meetings right through last year and which is the focus for the Victorian Eco-Innovation Lab, that is climate change and the pace of change that we can expect, we decided as well to embrace change and to shift our venue. So those of you who were with us last year know that we were elsewhere in this building, but partly in recognition of the increased numbers of people, but also just to start the year with a recognition of change, we've moved to here. We haven't changed the process. The process is still that you are going to be able to hear from a group of people who are working in their various ways, this time more or less connected by issues of transport within Melbourne to help make Melbourne more sustainable. And the idea of the website, sustainablemelbourne.com, and these events is that we can hasten the pace of change and the process of bringing about a sustainable Melbourne by allowing people who are working otherwise in quite small projects to look at and other projects that are of a similar scale, to bring those into the public arena so that people can see what is happening but also see about connections. And it was in thinking about connections that we decided that it was very important that we actually have some physical meetings as well, and these meetings are principally an opportunity for you to hear directly from people whose work we think is interesting and which has been featured on our website, but also, and more importantly, an opportunity after the process to be able to come to understand in more direct ways, to use a variety of opportunities which we have organised for you in various ways, to find out who else is here, to collaborate and to understand where possible connections can be made between projects that would raise their profile or their impact even more. The sustainablemelbourne.com, the Victorian Eco-Innovation Lab, is very much focused on the idea that we need to change people's expectations and visions about what a sustainable future would be like. And Sustainable Melbourne is a way of beginning to envisage and bring a number of people whose work involves envisaging the way that Melbourne might be if it was more sustainable, and particularly if it was to respond to what we now understand to be the pace of change, of climate change. So here we are. Since we met last, we have signed Kyoto. We have a new federal government, and who'd have thought the last time that we met that climate change and the environment would be one of the top 3 election issues changing the federal government in this country. I don't think at any time that we have met that we thought that would happen, but it certainly has ushered in an era in which I think the issue of change is going to be far more prominent. For those of you who tried to come to this theatre or hope to come to this theatre a little over a month ago for a big public lecture that we had from one of our collaborators from the Netherlands, who unfortunately was taken ill on the flight and couldn't make Australia, For those of you who have asked about how he was, and we've been really pleased, and he's been very touched by the number of people who had said they were coming to that lecture and then had inquired how he is. He asked me, because I saw him 2 weeks ago, he asked me to say to you that he's been very touched by your concern and that he is fine. He's not entirely fine. It'll be a while before he can travel again, but the heart problem that he has is not serious, and they expect that it won't be that long before we can bring him to Australia to once again perform in the way that he has done in the past but was unable to do a month ago. So tonight, just to remind you, as you will be reminded again, all the speakers have 3 minutes and 3 slides. That's an amazing discipline, an extraordinary discipline, as any of the people in the front row here are going to find out. But to manage this process, please welcome Fern Edwards, who's the coordinator of sustainablemelbourne.com.
Okay, well, to help manage the 3-minute process, we have our great little egg timer here. So keep your eyes on this, it's on its throne. And we've also, a new addition to this evening, we have a drummer. So please welcome Matt, who's over here in the corner. Matt will be smoothly letting people know when they're coming to their 3 minutes. So he's going to be doing some impromptu drumming just to help people along and keep them moving sort of upbeat a bit. So I'm pleased to see him here. Just a quick thing was to mention what you found on your seats when you sat down this evening. There would be... Are you going to do that later? Okay, don't worry about that. So don't throw them away. There is a reason for them being there. Cool. So I'm going to introduce everyone to come up and speak. It's 3 minutes, and so enjoy. Okay.